It's 10 o'clock. Welcome back. We'll get started. Oh, oh, oh. गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननम् वक्रतुंड महाकाय कोटिसूर्य समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ब्रह्मानन्दम् परमसुखदम् केवलम् ज्ञानमूर्तिम् द्वन्द्वातीतम् गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलम् सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् Chinmayam tam namamyaham. Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly Vedanta classes on Viveka Choodamani. We will get started with our Mangala Charana Shloka. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. After exploring the various methodologies to understand the Mahavakya, Tattvam Asi, we started our journey as to how to turn this Gnana to Vijnana. See, the intellectual analysis and the logical reasoning, Yukti, they are all great ways to gain a firm understanding of the knowledge that I am Brahman. A sincere sadhaka gains this knowledge by regular study, Shravanam, and constant reflection, Mananam, of all these Vedantic thought process. But as I mentioned last week, my contrary notion to this Vedantic knowledge, they are even stronger, and we all find it very difficult to overcome that. These habitual tendencies or these contradictory notions called viparita bhavana, that the identification with the anatma, not self, the body and its modifications, the vagaries of my mind and all associated emotions and commotions, the intellect and its thoughts and agitations, my identification or strong identification with the sense of doership, that I am the doer, kartrutva, the enjoyership, bhoktrutva, all its negative byproducts, pride, anger, jealousy, greed, and so on. These vasanas are very powerful because we have entertained them for several births and deaths. You know, any habit, it is hard to break, especially the bad habits. For example, if we need to get up early in the morning, we need to develop the discipline to go to bed early the previous night. Or to take the example, common example of smoking, like they say, it starts with a bit, it becomes an habit, before it becomes a habit. And before you know it, like Sir George Bernard Shaw would say, there is fire on one end and a fool on the other end, puffing his life away. See, although this Vedantic knowledge tells me that I am Brahman, but this contrary notion, this Viparita Bhavana, or these strong habitual tendencies that are so deep rooted in us, just like breaking any other habit, I have to build a repository of these Atma Vasanas. Meaning, constantly flooding the mind with this Atmakara Vritti or Brahmakara Vritti by this repeated call to the mind, by giving a stream of the same kind of thoughts, similar thoughts referring to Brahman. We had this technique that was prescribed to us by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi in Upadesha Sara. He called this the Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. That is flooding the mind with these similar thoughts on Brahman. And that's what we are going to do today. Since as a group, we have also studied the textbook Atma Bodha by Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ji. I want us to refer where Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ji compared this thought that I am Brahman to that of a medicine, kind of antidote. Please refer to verse number 37 of Atma Bodha. It's a very good reference for this technique. Evam nirantarabhyasta brahmaivasmiti vasana haratya vidya vikshepan roga nivarasayanam. We already know. See, these actions are at the body level, the gross body level. Thoughts are at my mind level and intellect. And these habitual tendencies or the vasanas are at the causal level, or at the level of Karana Sharira. Roganiva Rasayanam is a very famous Vedantic quote. By this Nirantara Abhyasa, by this constant practice, no break, continuous contemplation, Brahma eva iti vasana, that I am Brahman, aham Brahma asmi, nirgunaha aham asmi, asangaha aham asmi, kevalaha aham asmi, nityaha aham asmi, nirmalaha aham asmi, Shantaha ahamasmi. By that practice of that thinking, what does it do? He says, it destroys. Harati avidya vikshepan. Ignorance and its agitations. How? Now comes the famous quote. Roganiva rasayanam. Just like they give this medicine in Ayurveda, like Lehya, Rasayana, which seeps into that bloodstream to cure that disease, same way, Gnanabhyasat Vinirmalam, this technique of Nididhyasana, this constant contemplation, this Brahma Chintanam, it gets rid of this disease of ignorance. While this Rasayana may cure the Vyadhi, the disease of the body, but this Nididhyasana cures the mother of all diseases, the Anadi. So today we'll get started with the meditative verses of the Viveka Choodamani. First, let us recap the ones we have covered last week. Just sit back, relax your mind, and soak it in. Let's get started with verse number 254. Jati niti kula gotra duragam. Jati niti kula gotra duragam. Nama rupa guna dosha varjitam. Desha kala vishayati vartiyad. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. You are that Brahman, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying. Meditate on this Brahma Tattva, this Atma Tattva in your mind. Keep that attitude in your mind. Oh mind, Bhavaya. Think of that Brahman. Which Brahman? Jati Niti Kula Gotra Duragam. That which is beyond all limitations, all divisions that we have created, jati, caste and creed, etc. Niti, do's and don'ts, rules and regulations. Brahman is beyond all these divisions, all these limitations. Kula and Gotra, the family lineage. Brahman is beyond all these limitations. Nama Rupa Guna Dosha Varjitam. Brahman is beyond all these names and forms, all these distinctions that are beyond good and bad, beyond the gunas. Desha Kala Vishayati Vartiyat. It is beyond space, desha, beyond time, kala, vishaya, beyond objects, meaning beyond all relative existence. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. This is the bhavana in meditation, Vedantic meditation. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Verse number 255. Yat param sakala vaga gocharam gocharam vimala bodha chakshusha shuddha chiddhana manadi vastu yat brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Yat param sakala vaga gocharam. That supreme Brahman is beyond all expressions of speech. We saw some great references from Kenopanishad last week and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vak gacchati, no manaha. The speech and the mind, all senses cannot perceive it, but second line, gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha. Gocharam, it is accessible only to the eye of purity, the eye with clear understanding, the eye of clear knowledge, Gnana Chakshu. Vimala Bodha Chakshusha. It is even beyond the Vedas. Yatra Veda Aveda Bhavati. Meaning, this experience is beyond the bookish knowledge. Shuddha Chidghana Manadi Vastu Yad. It is that pure mass of consciousness. You are that Brahman. Contemplate on that truth. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Moving on to 256. Shadbirurmi bhira yogi yogi hrite. Bhavitam na karanair vibhavitam. Buddhya vedyamanavadyamasti yat Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Shadvirurmi bhira yogi yogi hride. That which is untouched by the 6 waves of sorrows, Shad Urmi, 6 waves of experiences. The first two are Shuddh Pipasa, hunger and thirst. They are like the chronic diseases which cannot be cured, but it has to be maintained. The third and fourth are the Shoka, Moha, sorrow and delusion. Fifth and sixth wave, Jara, Mrityu, Jara, Marana. Brahman is untouched by these experiences. Yogi Hrit Bhavitam. The yogi meditates in his heart on this Brahman. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Meditate on that Brahma Tattva. Contemplate on that truth. Moving on to 257. We have covered all this in the previous lecture, but just recapping. Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam swashrayam cha sadasadvilakshanam nishkalam nirupamanavaddiyate Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Bhranti kalpita jagat. This world of plurality is a mere projection of our delusion. Brahma, Brahman, is the substratum for the entire universe. Just like how we see the snake in that rope and snake example, in our delusion on that rope, in that twilight, in that semi-darkness. Same way, Brahman is this changeless substratum to this ever-changing world. Swashrayam cha sadasadvilakshanam. It has independent existence, swashraya. It is distinct from that cause and effect relationship. This causality works only in our relative plane, and Brahman is this absolute. It is nishkalam, no parts. Niravayava, it is indivisible. Avyaya, it is nirupama, incomparable. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Contemplate on that Brahman. Moving on to 258. Janma vriddhi parinatya pakshaya vyadhinashana vihinamavyayam vishvasrushtyava vighata karanam Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahman is that which is free from birth, growth, maturity, disease, decay, and death. Brahman is free from all these Shad Vikara, sixfold modifications. Janma Vriddhi Parinatya Pakshaya, which is applicable to all life forms. Vyadhinashana Vihinam Avyayam. Avyayam, it is indestructible. Vishwasrushtyava Vighata Karanam. It is the cause, maintenance, and dissolution of the world. Srushti, Sthiti, Laya, Karanam. Brahman is that reality which is the cause for all these three. And today, continuing on the same theme, moving to verse number 259. Astabedhamanapaastalakshanam. Astabedhamanapaastalakshanam. Nistaranga Nischalam. Nistaranga Nischalam. Nityamuktam Vibhaktamurti Yad. Nityamuktam Vibhaktamurti Yad. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. That which is free from all differentiations, because all differences dissolve in Brahman. Anapasta Lakshanam, its essence is always there. We may not perceive it. What it means, it is the nature of that existence. Meaning, it does not cease to exist. It is always there. Nistaranga Jalarashi Nischalam. It's like that ocean without the waves. This is how we need to imagine. Let our mind. Taranga means waves. Nistaranga, without waves. Nistaranga Jalarashi Nischalam. You can imagine that stillness without the waves. Nischalam, absolutely tranquil. What a beautiful example. Nityamuktama Vibhaktamurti Yad. Nityamuktama Vibhaktamurti Yad. It is ever free. Nitya Mukta. It is undivided, homogeneous, infinitude. Meditate on that Brahman. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. One more time, 259. Astabedhamana Pastalakshanam. Nistaranga Jalarashi Nischalam. Nityamuktama Vibhaktamurti Yad. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Moving on to 260. एकमेव सदनेककारणम् एकमेव सदनेककारणम् कारणान्तरनिरास्य कारणम् कारणान्तरनिरास्य कारणम् कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयम् कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि Ekameva. Brahman is that one and only one. Truth is always one. Ekameva Sat. It is the cause for many. Ekameva Sadaneka Karanam. Aneka Karanam. Many come from that one. Many come from one and go back to that one. Meaning it refutes all other causes. Karanantara nirasya karanam. Karanantara nirasi. And it is akaranam. It is causeless. Meaning Brahman is not caused by something else. Brahman, through the power of Maya, causes the universe. But when the knowledge dawns, Maya disappears, like the snake on a rope. No Jagat. When the delusion is gone, the illusion is gone. It is all Brahman. As I mentioned before, causality works only in the relative plane. In that Brahman, there is no cause, there is no effect. Karya Karana Vilakshanam Swayam. Because Brahman is beyond the cause and the effect, beyond Maya and its creation. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. One more time. Ekamev sadaneka karanam karanantara nirasya karanam karya karana vilakshanam swayam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Moving to 261. Nirvikalpakamanalpamaksharam. Nirvikalpakamanalpamaksharam. Yatksharaksharavilakshanam param. Yatksharaksharavilakshanam param. Nityamavyaya sukham niranjanam. Nityamavyaya sukham niranjanam. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. that which is beyond all agitations of the mind and the intellect. No vikalpa, nirvikalpa, analpam. Alpam means limited, finite. Analpam is that which is unlimited, that which is infinite, abundant, that which is unconditioned. Kshara akshara vilakshanam. Kshara means that which is destructible, that which perishes. Akshara means that which is indestructible. Yat ksharakshara vilakshanam param. It is distinct from this universe and Maya. In the previous verse also, a similar idea was given to the mind. Karya karana vilakshanam. Here, kshara akshara vilakshanam. This is a reflection from the Chandogya Upanishad. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham na alpe sukham asti. There is permanent happiness in the infinite. Nityam avyaya sukham. Undecaying bliss, unending bliss. Niranjanam. It is free from all sorts of impurities, free from all blemishes. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Meditate on that Brahman one more time. Nirvikalpakamanalpamaksharam yatksharaksaravilakṣanam param nityamavyayasukham niranjanam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Moving on to 262. Yadvibhati sadanekadha brahmat. Yadvibhati sadanekadha brahmat. Nama rupa guna vikriyatmana. Nama rupa guna vikriyatmana. Hemavat swayama vikriyam sada. Hemavat swayama vikriyam sada. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Yadvibhati sadanekadha. That reality, although one appears to be many, due to our delusion, Brahma. When we are deluded, we see the differences. Nama Rupa Guna Vikriyatmana. It takes many forms, many names, many attributes, many changes. but by itself it remains unchanged. How is that? He gives us an example in the third line. Hemavat swayam vikriyam sada. Brahman is like that gold, Hemavat, always without change. Gold is permanent. Gold by itself does not want to be on your neck. It does not want to be on our finger. It does not want to be on our wrist. What do? We mold it into various shapes. One around the neck, we call it necklace. One around the wrist, we call it a bangle. One on the ear, we call it an earring. One on the finger, we call it a wedding ring. And then there is suffering. Just kidding. You get the point. The goldsmith takes this lump of gold, makes different ornamentations like that. Brahman appears to take different names and forms due to our delusion. Brahma, Brahma, very slight difference. Shankaracharya ji says, Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. One more time. Yadvibhati sadanekadha brahma nama rupa guna vikriyatmana hemavat swayam vikriyam sada brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Moving on to 263. Yachakastyana paramparat param pratyagekara samatmalakshanam. Yachakastyana paramparat param pratyagekara samatmalakshanam. Satyachit sukhamanantamavyayam. Satyachit sukhamanantamavyayam. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Anaparam. There is nothing other than it. There is nothing beyond Brahman. Yachakastyana param parat param. Para means supreme. Parat para. Parat para Parameshwara. That most supreme. Pratyagekara samatmalakshanam. Pratyak. The innermost, the core of our personality. Ekarasam, homogeneous bliss. Sat Chit Sukham. It is Sat, existence. Chit, absolute knowledge. Sukham, bliss. Endless bliss. Anantam. It is Avyayam, undecaying. meditate on that Brahman. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. One more time. Yachakasthyana param parat param pratyagekara samatmalakshanam satyachit sukhamanantamavyayam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. This concludes the meditative verses, but moving on to 264. Uktamartamimamaatmani swayam. Uktamartamimamaatmani swayam. Bhavayet prathita yuktibhirdhiya. Bhavayet pratita yuktibhirdhiya. Samshayadirahitam karambuvat. Samshayadirahitam karambuvat. Tena tattva nigamo bhavishyati. Tena tattva nigamo bhavishyati. Here Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying, one must meditate on one in one's mind through the intellect. Truth indicated in these scriptural arguments, these pointers. Remember how our Puja Gurudev illustrated this, indicated this, thoughtfully feeling. That is the bhavana. So that we realize this truth free from all doubts. Samshayadirahitam karambuvat. How karambuvat, like that water in our palm, how self-evident it is, without a trace of doubt. You know it is there. Like they say, without a shadow of the doubt. Tena tattva nigamo bhavishyati. Tena tattva nigamo bhavishyati. Through proper meditation, this truth can be realized. And what we will do? We will chant all the verses one time in the next couple of minutes. Jati niti kula gotra duragam Nama Rupa Guna Dosha Varjitam Desha Kala Vishayati Vartiyate Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani Yat Param Sakala Vaga Gocharam Gocharam Vimala Bodha Chakshushaha Shuddha Chidghanamanadi Vastu Yate Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani Shadvirurmi Bhira Yogi Yogi Hrite Bhavitam Nakaranair Vibhavitam Buddhya Vedyamanavadyamasti Yate Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani Bhanti Kalpita Jagat Kalashrayam Swashrayam cha sadasadvilakshanam निष्कलं निरुपमानवद्ययत् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि जन्म वृद्धि परिणत्यपक्षय व्याधिनाशन विहीनमव्ययम् विश्वसृष्ट्यवविघातकारणम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि अस्तभेदमनपास्तलक्षणम् निस्तरङ्गजलराशिनिश्चलम् नित्यमुक्तमविभक्तमूर्ति यत् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि एकमेव सदनेककारणम् कारणान्तरनिरास्य कारणम् कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि निर्विकल्पकमनल्पमक्षरम् यच्छराक्षरविलक्षणं परम् नित्यमव्ययसुखं निरञ्जनम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यद्विभाति सदनेकधा भ्रमा नामरूपगुणविक्रियात्मना हेमवत् स्वयमविक्रियं सदा ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यच्चकात्स्य न परम्परात् परम् प्रत्यगेकरसमात्मलक्षणम् सत्यचित्सुखमनन्तमव्ययम् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् May all be happy, may all be healthy, may all see auspiciousness, may none suffer. Om peace, peace, peace. With that, I'll open it up for a brief interactive session.